December 14th meeting, Amherst City Council will come to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Miller.
Present.
Mr. Janik.
Here.
Mr. Bukovac.
Here.
Mr. Goodell.
Here.
Mr. Van Churen.
Here.
Mrs. Basilk. Here. Mr. Winarski.
Here.
We stand for the prayer by Chaplain Basilk and remain standing for the pledge of the flag by Sergeant Orange Bukovac.
Will you bow with me, please? Gracious God, bless this meeting tonight. Once again, we come to humbly ask you to help us make sense of the violence and irrationality that has seized our country and our world. We look for guidance in trying to make this world a world of safety and peace. Help all of us to better understand and accept our differences. Help us to accept that the preciousness of every soul exists. Despite the recent tragedies, we are grateful for the 12 years of service that you have permitted Mayor David Taylor to give to us. The city of Amherst will be forever grateful to him for his dedication and kindness. Thank you for the gift of his service. And now may the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, our rock and our redeemer. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Basilk?
I move to accept the, excuse the absence of Mr. Ramsey. He has a file.
Thank you. Mr. Winarski?
I'll second that.
Motion is second on the floor. Excuse Mr. Ramsey from tonight's meeting. He has a letter on file. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? He is excused. Move on to item 4, the consent agenda.
Minutes of the regular council meeting held November 23rd, 2015.
Mr. Miller.
Move to accept consent agenda as read.
Mr. Goodell.
Second.
Motion is second on the floor to accept the consent agenda as read. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? It is accepted. Move on to item 5, acknowledgement of public pertaining to items on tonight's agenda. Ms. Manning, would you like to make your presentation?
I would love to.
I'd like to introduce Senator Gail Manning.
I have for the mayor.
Would you go to the microphone,
Oh,
please?
I have for the mayor, and just Mayor Taylor's been just a dear friend, and so I thought it would be enjoyable to come this evening on his last evening at the city council meeting and present a proclamation that is signed by myself and the Senate President, Keith Faber, but always honored to be able to represent all 33 state senators. If you don't mind, I'd like to read it.
Absolutely.
On behalf of the members of the Senate of the 131st General Assembly of Ohio, we are pleased to extend special recognition to David Taylor on the occasion of your retirement as mayor of the city of Amherst. You are to be commended for as Amherst mayor for more than a decade. You have fulfilled your obligations to the electorate with dignity, integrity, and expertise. Clearly, your sound judgment and insightful perspective had added much of value to the local landscape, and you merit praise for your work in conjunction with a wide array of important civic projects. You have devoted 12 years of service to the city of Amherst, and your ability to enlighten others and inspire positive change has truly endeared you to the area residents. You have shown just how much a conscientious person can accomplish, and you can be proud that your character and commitment have impelled many who know you to dedicate themselves similarly. Thus, with sincere pleasure, we applaud you as one of Amherst's most devoted public servants and extend best wishes for a bright, rewarding future.
Thank you very much.
later.
Thank you, Senator Manning, for bringing that to us.
Oh,
Yes, thank you very much.
Really
I
appreciate
know
it.
you're going to miss him, President Dietrich.
I
We've often talked about your great friendship, so.
I certainly will.
Luckily, I hear he's not going anywhere.
It'll be different walking into that office, I'll tell you that. Not seeing that face, you know. Well, anyway, let's move on to item 6, ordinances and resolutions. First reading, we have none. Move on to item 7, ordinances and resolutions. Second reading, item A.
An ordinance establishing the salary and benefits for the full-time mayor's position and repealing all other ordinances and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Bookerback.
Thank you. Typically, we like to see this go in 3 readings, and we actually, technically, I guess, or not technically, this is his 3rd reading. We had 2 first readings. With that, I'd like to make a motion to suspend council rules so that item 7A may be passed on its 2nd reading.
Thank you. Mr. Goodell.
Second.
Motion second on the floor, suspend council rules on item A, shall be passed on second reading. Any questions? Mr. Miller?
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to say that I understand that we're going to try to get this finished before new council, but I still would have liked to see things done differently. When it comes to mayor's salary, where it should be, where it needs to be, and in relationship to the raises for council. So with that, I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Miller?
No.
Mr. Janik?
Yes.
Mr. Bukovac?
Yes.
Mr. Goodell?
Yes.
Mr. Van Kuren?
Yes.
Mrs. Wasilk?
yes.
Mr. Winarski?
Yes.
Motion carries. Mr. Buchbeck.
Move to adopt.
Mr. Winarski.
I'll second that.
Motion is second on the floor to adopt. Roll call vote.
Mr. Miller?
No.
Mr. Janik?
Yes.
Mr. Bukovac?
Yes.
Mr. Goodell?
Yes.
Mr. Van Kuren?
Yes.
Mrs. Wasilk?
Yes.
Mr. Winarski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
It'll be number, ordinance O-15-39.
That completes item 7. Move on to item 8, ordinances, resolution, 3rd reading. Item A.
An ordinance establishing the salary for the safety service director for the years 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Winarski.
Do we need this on emergency? It's a 3rd reading. Can we just motion to adopt?
Can.
No,
But we need,
It's emergency.
we need to adopt this.
No. Do we need the emergency though?
Yes.
Because
of the law
Keep the emergency
Okay.
on.
With that.
Mr. Winarski.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend council rules so this can be passed on the emergency.
Second.
Second. Motion is second on the floor. Pass item A on the emergency. Roll call vote, please.
Point of order?
Yeah, point of order, please.
Yeah. go.
Please, point of order. Do we have what he asked for, which was suspending council rules on a 3rd reading, or do we have just taking 8A, moving to adopt, right?
You need to move to adopt it.
Just move to.
Okay, because all we have to do is move to adopt this.
Right, you don't want to suspend council rules if we're on rounds 1 or 2, so.
Thank you. Clarification, thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Janik?
Yes.
Mr. Bukovac?
Yes.
Mr. Goodell?
Yes.
Mr. Van Kuren?
Yes.
Mrs. Wasilk?
Yes.
Mr. Winarski?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
And that was to adopt, correct?
Mhm.
Okay, it will be ordinance O-15-40.
Item B.
An ordinance establishing the salaries for the members of council for the years 2016 and 17 and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Bukovac.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt, please.
Mr. Goodell.
Second.
Motion is second on the floor to adopt. Roll call vote.
Mr. Miller?
No.
Mr. Janik?
Yes.
Mr. Bukovac?
Yes.
Mr. Goodell?
Yes.
Mr. Van Kuren?
Yes.
Mrs. Wasilk?
Yes.
Mr. Winarski?
No.
Motion carries 5-2.
Ordinance O-15-41.
Item
An ordinance establishing the salary for the clerk of council for the years 2016 and 17 and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Goodell,
I'd like to make a motion to adopt.
Mr. Bernard.
I'll second that.
Motion is second on the floor to adopt. Roll call vote.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Janik.
Yes.
Mr. Bukovac,
Yes.
Mr. Goodell,
Yes.
Mr. Van Kuren,
Yes.
Mrs. Wasil,
Yes.
Mr. Winarski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
The ordinance O-15-42.
Move on to item 9, miscellaneous acknowledgement of the public. Anyone here wishing to speak on any item? Not, move on to item 10, agenda requests and committee meeting schedules. We have none. Move on to item 11, reports of administration.
Mr. Cooper?
The November reports have been distributed and emailed to you. Also, the State Auditor's Office has selected REA and Associates out of Cleveland to be our audit team for next year. And we've refiled with Lester Shearer to do our conversion reports of the audits and report.
Mr. Pecora?
Well, just, Mr. Mayor, that I want to thank you for your leadership in the last, at least my tenure here for 8.5 years. I know you've been here beyond that. I will say that you swore me in when I was appointed, and you swore me in when I was elected and re-elected, and I look forward to the last time.
Swear at you.
Yeah, you swear, yeah, that's right. And what I can say is that when I started in office, law director, I was much younger and had no idea what I was doing, but you made me feel comfortable, and you taught me a lot. And you and I have had good conversations on a daily basis practically, and I realized that the city was in good hands, in great hands. So I appreciate your leadership, and I appreciate you as a client. You and I have sat at the trial table, but I appreciate you as a friend as well. You'll be sorely missed, and Mark has huge shoes to fill.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Costello?
Hard to follow that one, but I just want to thank the mayor, myself also, the last 4 years working during the safety service director has been a really good 4 years. For me, I've learned a lot from the mayor. As a citizen, I truly and honestly believe Amherst is better off now than it was 12 years ago when he took office, and we're really been blessed to have him as our mayor. I want to thank him for his service. Thank you.
Thank you very
And
much.
unlike you guys, I'm stuck with him for a couple more weeks. So I work with him right up to the end of the year, so.
Thank you.
And the report.
Just one thing, Mr. President. Since this is my last council meeting, I want to tell you, and I mean this sincerely, I'd like to thank all of you, because this has been a team effort over 12 years. As long as nobody depends on who gets the credit, we can do many things, and we've done that. And I want to thank you, because you've all been part of the process. I'd also like to thank the members of the various commissions that have served our city over the past 12 years, and thank them for their help. We have been blessed with the fact that as long as we all work for the same objective, and we don't care who gets the credit, and we have the residents at heart, we'll succeed. It's been, my 12 years, it's been a period of teamwork, dedication, and willingness to serve, and that's what makes Amherst special. In addition, I'd like to thank our employees, who are a very integral part of our success, and their dedication to our city. That's what makes Amherst the place that it is, in my eyes, as being special. So as I said many times over the past 12 years, I mean this sincerely, it's been a privilege to serve and be your mayor. So I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and all the best in the future. Thank you. End of report, Mr. President.
Thank you.
We have to accept the report?
No, we don't have to. Mr. Miller.
Move to accept the reports of administration, and a big thank you as well.
Mr. Goodell.
Second.
Motion is second on the floor to accept the reports of administration. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, are accepted. Before I want to adjourn, we'll meet on January 4th at 7 o'clock for swearing in ceremony. Judge Newsy will be attending. And we will not have a meeting on the 11th, but we will on the 18th. We'll have a committee meeting on the 18th. We have no agenda items. So we'll assign those items on the 18th and have a regular meeting after that. So wish you all a happy Christmas and a great New Year, and look forward to working with you all again. So, and Mayor, it's been my pleasure.
My friend.
So, thank you. It's been a trip. So, Mr. Miller,
Move to adjourn.
Mr. Goodell,
Second.
motion second on the floor to adjourn. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, we are adjourned at 7:55.